I want to take a minute and thank the board for their concerted effort to bring about good property tax policy the last eight months. I'm not going to get too political here, but Proposition HH, I want to thank you for being out there to talk about that. And the result of HH, it failed, and we found out Thursday that the governor is calling a special legislative session on property tax. It's going to be a 3-day session starting Friday. And when I was thinking about that, a Mark Twain quote came to mind, that no man's life, liberty, or property are safe while the legislature's in session. So since you all were very vocal about the property tax policy the past before HH, I'm asking you today to sign a letter that would give your concerted voice to the governor, asking the legislature and the governor to do the right thing in the next session coming up on Friday. So the letter asks the governor and the legislature for property tax relief and commending the governor for calling the session. We also encourage the governor and the legislature to sign a bill that gives significant tax relief for both residential and commercial properties, and also calling on the legislature to provide and enact legislation that is fair and equitable to the taxpayers. So time is of the essence, and we certify our values next month in the assessor office. So I also want you to, in the letter, ask them to stay away from undue burdens for our taxpayers. And an example of that was one provision in Senate Bill 23303 was that all 60,000 residential property owners would have to show up and file an affidavit with my office proving that they're owner occupied. So we want to stay away from that kind of tax policy, and I would appreciate that you all exhort the governor and the legislature to do the right thing by signing this letter. Thank you.
One of the major reasons we opposed HH was kind of the, as you mentioned earlier, the balkanization of the tax code. If you live here, you're paying a different tax rate, and it just makes your job incredibly hard, and nobody actually understands the tax code.
Right.
So what we were asking is for something simple. It doesn't make a big difference in Mesa County because we are Tabor limited, so our mill levy will go down regardless. This will actually impact more school districts, special districts, things like that than Mesa County. But we do support a simple reduction where everybody can understand it. It's easy to understand, and it allows for flexibility in the future for local governments, because local governments already have the local control to reduce their mill levy if they need. Boulder's different than Mesa County. Boulder may be just fine paying the taxes they want. Mesa County may not, and all local governments have that ability to reduce it. So we're just asking they are logical, principled, and make sure it's simple as we move forward. And that, I think that your letter encapsulates that. So for obvious reasons, I'm in full support. Thank you, Brent.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Did you have any comments, Commissioner Daniel?
Brent, you've been on top of this from day one. After the legislative session had gotten out, we really did launch a campaign, a countywide campaign to really educate the community and the voters how those tax calculations are evaluated. You have your home value assessment rate and mill levy, and we are doing everything we can here in Mesa County to make sure that your mill levy is reduced. But this letter that we have drafted really communicates that we want a streamlined, more efficient way of having our property taxes lowered with the state legislature. And we want them to come up with real solutions that will make senior exemptions a big possibility, and really get down to business to make those viable solutions available for everyone in Colorado. So thank you, Brent, for all of your hard work and your timeliness on this. As my understanding, this will go on Friday. So
Thank you.
This is really important.
I just wanted to confirm we're looking at the correct letter, because it has been updated since our agenda was posted. The letter I'm looking at that you sent us yesterday afternoon after our public conversation yesterday, removed the 30%. And then you added the part about Senate Bill 303 and the provision of people having to prove that they are primary residential. And that's the one you're asking us to sign today. And I do also. fully
Thank you,
support that.
Commissioner. And that is my primary concern, that that would be an undue burden for the taxpayers.
Yeah.
And also a real administrative nightmare for my office as well. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.